All right, let's dive into something really fascinating and, frankly, a little mysterious. We're talking about a text that, according to legend, was found in the 12th century, buried under the roots of a giant oak tree. Now, this isn't your typical historical document. It takes the epic Germanic myths, the Volsunga saga, the stories of gods and heroes, and completely rewrites them into this radical philosophy of the self. It's called the Völsung-Gospel, a legend of the sovereign will. And it opens with this incredibly powerful image. It's setting the stage right away. A world where the plow, that's our work, our duty, and the monk's parchment, that's the rules, the moral codes, have together become a cage for the human soul. The very systems that were supposed to give life order have, in this author's eyes, ended up trapping the spirit. And that, right there, is the central question this whole text is built around. What happens when you take these foundational stories, these tales of Odin and Siegfried that everyone knew, and you twist them? What if they're not stories about gods and monsters anymore, but a kind of roadmap for individual freedom? Well, let's find out. So, where does this radical new take begin? Well, it starts right at the top, with the big guy himself. It takes the chief of the Norse gods, the one we know as Wotan, or Odin, and it transforms him. He's no longer the All-Father, the seeker of wisdom. In this gospel, he's basically a divine accountant. See, the problem this text is trying to solve is what it calls the rationalized life. It's this idea that we've traded our raw, dangerous freedom for what it calls a slave's peace. Our world becomes this web of social duties and agreed-upon morals, a system that the text doesn't see as safe, but as a spiritual gallows. It's a system built for order, sure, but it ends up strangling what makes us individuals. And this comparison just lays it all out, crystal clear. In the old myths, Wotan famously sacrifices his eye to drink from Mimir's well and gain ultimate wisdom. But in the Völsung-Gospel, nope. Here he trades his eye for the runes of contract. His goal has shifted completely. It's not about understanding the world anymore. It's about controlling it. He's become the master of the ledger, obsessed with binding everything and everyone in rules. Okay, so if Wotan's system of contracts is the problem, the cage, who holds the key to breaking it? This is where the hero of the Volsunga saga, Siegfried, comes in. And just like they did with Wotan, the gospel completely reforges his character to serve a brand new philosophical purpose. This text just throws the traditional idea of Siegfried as some kind of naive, pure fool right out the window. It makes this really bold claim. In a world that's decaying, a world caught in a spiritual cage, being innocent isn't a virtue. It's a sickness. It's a weakness. To break the system, the hero can't be pure. They have to be something else entirely. And this is the term they coined for him, the amoral catalyst. This version of Siegfried isn't playing on the same field of good versus evil as everyone else. He acts because of something the text calls mythic necessity. It's like a force of nature. His job isn't to be a good guy. His whole purpose is to be the one thing powerful enough to shatter the moral consensus that's crushing everyone's spirit. And get this, even the forging of his legendary sword, Graham, is transformed into this deep philosophical process. The source material for the blade, it's literally the shards of his father's broken spirit. And why does he forge it? Not for a king, not for his country, but out of that internal mythic necessity. The sword's real purpose isn't just to slay dragons. It's a metaphor. It becomes the only key to the gates of the self. But Siegfried isn't acting alone in this philosophical drama. We have to talk about his counterpart, the Valkyrie Brunhilde. Her famous act of defying Wotan is taken and completely reframed. Here, it's not a crime. It's the highest possible virtue. So when Wotan orders her to let Siegfried's father die in battle, she refuses. The gospel sees this not as simple disobedience, but as a sacred treason. She's making a conscious choice. She chooses the messy, vibrant, unpredictable force of life over the cold, rigid structure of law. She's championing the individual, the nobility of the one, against the crushing weight of the group, the decree of the many. And what about her punishment? Being put to sleep inside a ring of fire? The Codex just flips that idea completely on its head. It argues that the wall of fire was never a prison. It was an aristocratic filter, a demanding spiritual test. So who could actually get through this thing? The text is super specific. As you can see, anyone driven by normal worldly things, you're after gold, marriage, power for the state, you'd just be incinerated. The filter only allows one kind of person through, someone who is both desperate and fearless, someone who has already died to the world's opinion of them. Only a truly sovereign spirit could survive that flame to reach another. Okay, so all of these pieces, the accountant god, the amoral hero, the treasonous Valkyrie, they are all building towards one thing, the legendary climax, Götterdämmerung, the twilight of the gods. But in the Völsung-Gospel, this epic disaster isn't a tragedy at all. It's actually presented as a necessary, even joyous moment of renewal. The text actually calls the burning of Valhalla and the end of the gods a sacred festival of destruction. Think about that for a second. The end of the world as a party. It's not a sad ending, it's a purification of the flame. The idea is that destroying the old, stagnant, rule-bound world is absolutely essential to let something new and healthy grow in its place. As the old world is crumbling, the Codex gives us this incredible image, a single sound echoing over the destruction, the laugh of the Valkyrie. And it's not a laugh of madness, it's a sound of pure, primal autonomy. It's the triumphant signal that Wotan's age of the draft, his age of contracts and control, is finally over. His spear of law is broken for good. So the Gospel's final message isn't a history lesson. It's a direct challenge, aimed at the reader then, and, you could argue, at us now. The end of the old gods and all their rules isn't an ending. It's a beginning. The twilight of the gods is the dawn of the self-creator. It's an urgent call to action. Stay unconquered. And that's where it leaves us, with this final, really provocative question. The text argues that the divine contracts are burned to ash, the slate has been wiped clean. And it doesn't offer a new master or a new system to follow. It simply turns to you and asks, now that you're free, what new values, what new contracts will you write for yourself?